Hello everyone, I'm Jen for those of you who don't know me, and welcome back to the Happy Little Book Nook. Today we are going to review a book I actually just finished last night, and I'm so eager to talk about it that I'm filming the review today, and that book is Me Before You by JoJo Moyes. I think it's Moyes. You know me and names. So this book here, I have actually had it in my possession for quite a while. And I just was terrified to read this book. Everyone told me how sad this book was, how it gave them all the feels and it was super emotional. And I was just like, I don't know that I want to cry. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to like showing emotion, and I don't like to show emotion all that much. Even though I'm a writer, which is weird, I kind of funnel it through my characters. So I'm one of those people who loves a good fantasy or paranormal type story, something that's kind of removed from reality, because for me reality sometimes is very difficult and sucks. And there's an Owl City song and I keep threatening I'm going to get this line like tattooed somewhere, but it says reality's a lovely place but I wouldn't want to live there. And I feel like that's the motto of my life. I'm sure reality is great and I'm sure it is fantastic. I personally just don't want to live there. So this was one of those books that I really wanted to read. I know the movie's coming out. It sounded great. I didn't know that I had the heart to read it. Maybe that makes me heartless. I don't know. Ultimately, I read it. I read it in about a day or two. Because once I started this book, I could not put this book down. I had to know what happens. In this review, I'm going to make it rather quick. I'm not going to spend forever talking about it, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I know there's a lot out there, especially with the film coming out, it's kind of spoiling this story, and I really don't want to do that for you. On my blog, if you go below, there will be a link. I am going to go more in detail about the book, and I will have spoilers in the blog. So it's going to be notated that it's a spoiler, so you won't read anything by accident if you go there. So this will just be kind of a quick view. If you want a little more in-depth view of what I thought of some of the particular, plots or scenes, then go to the blog. So this book, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Ultimately, did I cry? I bawled like a baby. And here's what happened. So I'm reading the book, I'm falling in love with Will Traynor, I'm falling in love with Louisa Clark, and I'm just like, guys, come on, I'm so for you, I'm so for you. And I want to see everything just happy and wonderful. And the thing that I loved most about this book is I feel like it really kind of wrapped up in a realistic type of way. Things in life don't always work out with pretty little bows and butterflies and rainbows as much as we wish it would. And sometimes there are decisions that people make, or there are things that happen that are really heartbreaking and really... That was my phone. There are times that things happen that are really heartbreaking or really suck, and you've got to try to figure out, how do you feel about it? How do you deal with that? How do you go through those emotions? And this book definitely kind of gives you that realistic feel. For me, I managed to maintain a stoic front throughout the book as I was reading through it, and I was like, okay, so far it's not so bad. It was like, I don't know what everyone's talking about. There's some feels. There's particular scenes where they talk about the bumblebee tights. I've got my somewhat bumblebee outfit on in honor of Lou. When they talk about those things that really do tug at the heartstrings, but not enough to make me cry, I was like, we're not there yet. And then it was like, oh my gosh, I think it was like the last pages. No, wait. I'm going to give you the exact page here. It was on... So it's in the epilogue. It's on page 366 to 368. And it's a letter in there. And I'm not going to say any more than that because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it. And oh my gosh, all of this stuff that I tried to repress just built up in me, and I was just sobbing. I was like, no. It is the most beautifully romantic story you can read without sounding totally morbid, because it does deal with Will. He's a quadriplegic. He has no feeling or use of his limbs from like his chest down, so he's stuck in a wheelchair, which is extremely tragic. He's 35 years old, so he's not like this old guy who's lived his whole life. You know, he's done a lot of amazing things in his life, and he's been very successful until this accident took that from him. And he just is kind of over it. He's just done with it. Like, if he can't live the life that he had planned for himself, then what's the point? And when he meets Lou, who comes in as a caregiver for him, she just turns his world around and kind of opens his eyes to things. And the bond between those two, and the romance that ultimately kind of builds up with them, is just, it's really sweet and it's very touching. And it, even though it's kind of quick because it takes place over a 6-month time period, it really, really just like is this beautiful story. But then there's this like heart-wrenching part of it with Will's struggle and the things that he's going through in his family, and the stuff that Lou's family is going through. And I think on both sides, the Trainer family and the Clark family are both like really, really relatable families, where you're gonna find a part of your own family in one way, shape or another in these characters. And that was really, really cool, because it wasn't just like, oh, this is so far removed from anything I would ever go through or experience. So it was really cool. The other really great thing that I love about this book is it does deal with some really, really dark, serious matters. And like I said, I'll go more into it on my blog because I don't want to totally spoil things. So if you want more, go to the blog. It's linked below. The beauty of this book is it really challenges you to question, how do you treat people? How do you see the world? What do you believe is morally right, morally wrong? There are things in there that just kind of question, what does it really mean to love somebody? What does it really mean to let go? What does it really mean to, you know, care for a person or overlook the things that we feel define ourselves? And there's some just really, really solid things in here that will make you question your own life, the people in your lives. How do you treat others? How do you show love to these people? It's super fantastic. So amazing things to say about this. I did read, there's like a little excerpt from chapter 1 of After You, which is the book that comes after this, in here, and I read it, and it leaves you on this cliffhanger. So next book I'm gonna buy is After You, because I really want to know what happens to Lou and all the characters, and oh yeah, I just gotta know. So I'm definitely gonna be buying the next book. Highly, highly recommend this. If you are a little bit younger, I don't know if it would be appropriate or not. I mean, it's not like there's anything terrible in there. It's just talking about some very like adult type subjects at points. So definitely consider it. You know, read it with caution. It will make you cry. Even the strongest person is gonna cry, I guarantee it. It really, JoJo Moyes is like this incredible author who just writes such a real narrative of what life is like, especially when you're making these types of decisions. So highly, highly recommend this. Cannot wait for the next book. Who knows, I would love to see the movie, but who knows if I can survive through that. We'll see. But if you've read this book, comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts were. Please head over to the blog. Let me know deeper thoughts if you want to talk about spoilers and whatnot. And if you're new to the channel, please click the subscribe button so we can stay in touch and keep talking about books, because I've got more reviews and more bookish things coming. But until next time, happy reading, book lovelies.